After giving Pokemon Uranium a try in my last video and sharing my first impressions of the game, I was intrigued. When it comes to Pokemon, there's this one type of challenge that Sir Johnstone himself is known for. How easily can you catch every Pokemon and fill the Pokedex? And so I started my mission in the Tandor region to catch every single Pokemon in this radioactive land. With 200 Pokemon in the Pokedex and roughly 100 of them not being part of the main series, this was an adventure that was about to start. After talking to our aunt, get some first looks at Moki Town and meet our rival Theo, who is here for the same reason as we are, we pick up our starter. While most games just let you choose which starter you would like to have, Uranium is a little different as it has the trainer aptitude test to determine what starter fits you best. I selected the green answers and got the level 5 green Orkings. It will be a common theme throughout this video for me to mispronounce almost everything. Theo picks the starter that is not favored in this battle, which makes this an easy win. A short tutorial on how to catch wild Pokemon follows, and we add our second team member that we will definitely never use. With Kabak and Burby, we double the counter and make our way to the next town. Inside a cave, we catch a Grozart, Tonami, Barrel, and Dunsparce. Before we attend this meeting about the subway system, we notice that in front of the gym there is this guy who made copies of the gym leader's keys to her home. Yep, that's in the game. Needless to say, she's not exactly staggered to see us entering her home, so we just skip to the part where we get our first gym badge. It is already evening and the town looks beautiful, so how about the second rival fight? In short, he lost. A ranger then shows us how to use Rock Smash, and we apply what we learned and go to east of Moki Town where we smash those rocks. On Route 3 we catch a Mankey, Small, Fortok, Lotad and a Phalang. The night in Burrow Town starts with us buying more Pokeballs. We pick up an item before we enter the gym. In here you use Rock Smash to get a gem that then unlocks the path to the gym leader. Devon was not the hardest opponent, and with the second gym badge we face the first real challenge. This is just a little fiery bird on the next route. That shouldn't deal that much damage, right? Yeah, well, my whole team lost to it, so I put my focus back on the mission. With Spoonie, Tankoon, Ekans, Magikarp, Gibraltar, and finally our own Paha added to the team, we should have an easier time against the trainers on this route. As it turns out, Paha is literally on the same power level as Ho-Oh and destroys everything in a hit or two. But now the next cave awaits us, and with Theo on our side, who heals our team after every battle, this is a nice change of pace. After I catch a Comet and Pa evolves into Palish, Theo runs away. Stones fall from the ceiling and a level 22 Turlat attacks us out of nowhere. Couple attacks later and we add it to the team. On Route 5 we encounter a Black Sheep, a White Sheep, Costraw and Trickby before we arrive in Rockfell Town. The news about a Pokemon thief makes the rounds, so we stop what we are doing to investigate which evil, malevolent, human being... Wait, that's Garlic with a body. So... You see, I don't know what this is either. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, everybody's free. The locals explain who Garlickid is, Small evolves into a Fyroki, and we get a Cupfly as well as a Lunapup before the day turns night. Minion can only be caught after sunset, and to add one more Pokedex entry, Tankoon evolves into Tansker. Up the stairs, through the grass, into the tunnel and around the trainers to catch a Sableye, Gligar, Mordril, and see a pink sheep next to a Lombra. Route 7 is all about the beach, with a Kokoran we find while heading north. This lovely guy wants to lose for the third time, and so it goes. Theo is not exactly hard to beat, but I digress. Bell Beach City is a paradise that we don't explore because there is this one mission that apparently has priority. The man with the boat carries us to a nuclear power plant where we encounter nuclear Pokemon for the first time. They are like the shadow Pokemon in Gale of Darkness, but boy do they look fantastic. Here we catch Keenup Monk before Theo's father warns us about the power plant we are about to enter. A burnt notebook with missing pages tells the story of what happened here. Get key, open door, get arrow, fight level 30 Trollpint, added to the collection. Waking up not knowing what happened, we make the trip back to Bell Beach and enter the 4th gym, where I lose against this thing. Yep, that is one of the Pokemon in this game. But one clap later and the badge is ours. Oh look, main character telling us where to go. But first we pretend to be at the Lake of Rage for the non-shiny but nuclear Gyarados, which we do catch. You know what? It feels like we should enter the SSN and win against Theo real quick. And now the trip is over, with our starter evolving into Metalings. A ranger guides us the way so we can safely encounter Misdrevious, Cottony, a Glassluck, and finally a Barrent, bringing our total to a solid
46.
Vinoville Town looks better at night, and so does the gym. You see how the minigame works. Press button and the path reveals itself. What I didn't know, and took me a solid 20 minutes to understand, is that you don't need to stand still when the path is revealed. I was drawing this in paint the whole time. A few flame bursts later, and this gym is done, as well as Comet evolving into Cometeor. First I thought, this is yet another rival battle, but then this Staraptor, which is not even part of the Pokedex, carries us away and reveals a minor incident at the power plant. The rangers in Legend Town keep us safe, but we enter Route 9 to find the daycare, where we just get a lucky egg as a welcome gift. I do forget to catch anything on Route 9 and proceed with the main story, but we go back to this at some point. Let's encounter 2 more radioactive Pokemon before we get HM04 strength as a reward. While I try to find Ametry Town, I get this feeling that something bad is about to happen. What do I mean by that? Well, try to see for yourself. This place has not seen any sunlight in decades and is like a maze to navigate through. One piece of upcoming storyline later and we find the way out of this. Boy, this was hard to get through. In the meantime, I caught Topjaw, Falrock, Hagoop, Chakotym, Unymph, and Spinnerry, while the burp evolved into Abaddon. Some bug spray used and a small talk with the next gym leader later to see who's in control of all these insects. You sadly can't catch the Psychometer in here, however you do obtain a Royal Jelly, which is an item to get your own Psychometer down the line. It's raining like hell, so we go back inside, move some rocks and easily defeat this. Wait, yeah. I didn't quite win the first time like the last gym, but you know what they say, 2 times the charm. I guess. The rain finally stops and a rival battle. All those fights against Theo have a common theme. He loses every single one of them. We reward ourselves with a fossil, which is limited to one or the other. It is time to leave West Tender and go east, but then surfing ninjas attack. This game story is something else, I'm telling you. Another bird evolution, Ninja Fish, Brainlip Fish, and the Titanic are added to the decks. The little piece of grass before the next city offers us Jack Dairy, 2 Spritzies, and Ampharos to make us feel good. Venice City seems to have a rat problem, so we get rid of it for them, adding Ratzy to the party. The statues can also turn to life every Tuesday and Friday, and so we catch Gargriff, the Gargoyle Pokemons. Look at the gym leader. Never mind, this is a trap. We start this fight unprepared and well, what can I say? You see the end of attempt number 1. That's just life. Attempt 2 though. That was a better one, and with the drama badge up we go. Catch the owl and the Eevee to make our way to Silverport Town. Inside this rather easy cave, we add Linkite, Drillgan, Chupacho, Masking, as well as the evolutions of Mankey to the Pokedex. Route 15 is basically just water without anything interesting to it. At least it leads to Silverport though. Mr. Larkspur is a weird fella. You talk to him once, then take a closer look at this pet owl. Next thing you know, you're surrounded by people in lab coats and even darker outfits next. And all of a sudden, you get sent to prison. I like the way he handles things. Living the Fort Knox lifestyle until a hidden note under the bed tells us a security code and the fact that we can just break out the wall in the back. Here we see Garlikid trapped behind bars, but as a hackerman myself, I enter the mainframe, deactivate the protocol, and the steel bender not just breaks the iron, but also joins us in the upcoming battles against one of the researchers and then even the professor himself. An evolution later and the prof takes off. Running away with Garlikid will be on our side permanently from now on. What comes next is what I refer to as total blindness from my side. You see there are a couple layers to this cave, and we get Route 16. All there is to do is find a way east, but because I'm special, this took me over an hour to navigate through, despite being incredibly obvious. I just needed to not enter the second cave and go to the right. That was the remedy to my self-induced madness. In the next town though, I can finally restock some Pokeballs to catch everything I've missed so far. And that includes a Colava, Puffluff, Frosilo, Andorant, Farfur, which evolved into Fafninte, soon after Trickbee became Harrylact. The 7th gym has an interesting design to it. While you go through the 5 trials with Theo, you're by yourself for every fight, besides the final fight against the gym leader. And so we solve the puzzles, win against the Acolytes until I meet my arch enemy, the Button Path. Like the primal animal I am, I go through this on my first attempt, defeat the last guy, and join Theo for the gym battle against Mr. Have you heard of Mega Evolutions? He likes them so much that after we receive the badge, he grants us matching bracelets and some of the good stuff. Theo, as the lovely persona he is, wants to fight now that he got some drip, and you know how it goes. That's a good looking evolution right there. Battle 1, time to talk with the prof who sends us down to the last gym. South of Venice City, there are diving spots, and underwater we not just find treasures, but encounter Levant, Salkit, Shrimputi, and Tubaril, before we leave this place for this tiny island on which we find Floatzel, Surbone, and Kararealm. Now we surf east and enter the 5 FPS zone. Why do I call it that? You have to match the tile count to be even, which was pretty difficult under these circumstances. The gym leaders of the final gym have 4 Pokemon each and represent day and night. You fight them back to back, making this a real challenge. With a Zen badge in our collection, we get evacuated from this town due to yet again something bad at the power plant. Here our assistance is needed to defeat some more nuclear types, and so we catch Luchabra and Xenomite. And then it's time to encounter the villain of this story. Curie and Urain, the evil guys on the playground, make a name for themselves, but dip right after, leaving us wondering when the inevitable fight against them will happen. Back in Bell Beach, we get sent on yet another mission into a radioactive zone, but first we stop by the Tinkerer's place in Legend Town to get the HM moves as equipment, making our journey a little more relaxed. With this hazmat suit on, we enter the danger zone, where this little guy runs away from us. During our investigation of the zone, we catch Barriette and Hazma itself, before going inside this abandoned power plant. In here we play with levers, solve puzzles, play with levers, and solve puzzles, to then enter the east sector in which we scan for Curie's location. In the yard we catch Nupin, Geigerok, and Hagros, putting the counter to a decent
96.
The fight against Curie is kind of funny. If you were to lose the fight, this happens. It's not just game over, but the entire world is doomed with nuclear winter for 100 years. This game hits hard. Or you just win, look at Curie's disappointment, rescue Theo from this water tank, and make it back to Bell Beach. Here it turns out that the Hazma we caught can remove the radioactiveness on nuclear Pokemon, a feature we will never use. To Legend Town we teleport, pass the vibe check before Victory Road, and start the final part of this adventure. On the outside we add Trakton, Gararule, Sheebit, and Stanovat to the decks. I really thought this was shiny, it wasn't. In the Victory Road you can pretty much dodge every single trainer and cross the bridge to enter the volcano. With 357 IQ points, we hit those rocks, walk over them, and catch the 3 fire types we need from this place. After that we can go up to the champion's site, where we learn how this entire system works. Instead of having 4 Elite Four members and then a champion, you face off against 4 out of the 8 gym leaders you fought in the region randomly, with their team going up to level 70. While I do like the system, it's a little easy as they tell you who you face. That way you can prepare pretty well for this fight. Long story short, we won a bunch of times and made it to the finals. Us against Theo, the final rival battle. This is definitely going to be the final fight and there won't be anything bad happening, right? Yeah, so Acton, the main legendary we never heard of, is here and it's infected to be a little nuclear and it's uncatchable, so we have to defeat it, but then it gets healed by the guy who has mystical powers, and then we add it to the team, but then Curie appears with his giant Urain behind it and it's just 10 times bigger than it was the last time, and we managed to defeat that too, and then whoa, plot twist. It's actually Lucille, the person we were missing the entire time, from the beginning of the story. It turns out it was Curie who was Lucille and they merged with the Pokemon. Yep, don't question the story. We add Urain to the team and witness the credits. This was the gameplay part, with some evolutions I must have missed because we're at 107 instead of
104
out of the 194 obtainable Pokemon, so we got like 86 left to go. There are legendaries and side quests that await us, so this is no happy hour. We gotta start working. Let's knock off a bunch real quick, rapid fire style. By simply leveling our Pokemon, they evolve into Nymflora, Brainoir, Dansaraf, Bluebellrock, Falungi, Feliga, Gallon, Snail 1, Snail 2, Harptera, Quetzalcoatl, Coatlith, Saldine, and Larry the Lobster. On Route 9, I forgot to catch Flager, Parodio, and Chimical, which evolve into Inflagator and Paraboom. We also caught a female Spore, which evolves at level 40 into this mythic Volcarona-looking insect when given a royal jelly. Remember the fossil we picked up earlier? There's another one that we can give to this guy to add Youngor, Snowpatch, and Slotham to the decks. These evolve into Magingold, Demaro, and Thurlamp. But wait a second, didn't I say that you can only get one of the 2 fossils from earlier? Well, here's where the trading system comes into play. You offer the Pokemon somebody out there is looking for, and in this case the somebody is me on a second save file. This way we get Alatox, Astronite, Xenoqueen, and Chainite before we pick up 2 items through the mystery gifts that help us evolve Spritzy into Aromatisse and Miasmatic. After this, I grinded to get Drawsummer, Frostra, Krillvolver, Terabit, Leisure, Raffit, Xenogen, Alpico, Fallen Angel, Belial Geddon, which looks fantastic, Skellerogue, and Navigast. Back in Moki Town, our Pokedex gets evaluated and we receive a couple eggs as a reward, among other things. In these eggs we get another starter that evolves into Arculus, while Eletux becomes Electruxor. We also received an egg for Luxie that turns into Luxor and Luxalong, as well as Minicorn that turns into either Kiricorn or Oblivicorn, depending on the stone you use to evolve it. Talking about evolution stones, there are 5 we can use right now for Ludicolo, Haraloon, Whimsicott, Valucard, and Mismagius. On that subject, there are some evolutions due to items of friendship like Vinotinga, Glavenok, Corsoreef, Sirentide, and Cocancer. I also filled some gaps here and there by catching Daryl, Tikiki, and Freaky Tiki. And you know what time it is? It is side quest time! Yay, side quest, yeah. So there's Dojo Master Yoshitaka that sends us on a journey across the region to unite the family. There are 6 members of this clan that allow you to EV train one of the 6 stats. After locating all 6 of them, he thanks us with a Volchic that evolves into Voltasur, and finally Yatagario. Or you just get Volchic from the mystery gift, which I noticed too late. I'm in the mood to catch a legendary. Back to the snowy mountain we go to be in front of Lanthan, with this guy who decides to fight for the right to catch it. Long story short, we throw a ton of Ultra Balls until eventually we add Lanthan to our team. You know the evolutions, right? There are 9 of them in this game, and in order to get them, I was breeding Eevees, running left and right on this path in front of the daycare until something came to mind. I completely forgot to check if this game has a bicycle, and I did not think about this until now. I picked up some old wheel a long time ago, and apparently you can trade that for a bike, which makes hatching eggs a lot faster. That, combined with the Flame Body ability from Arculus, cuts the time in half multiple times here. After we hatch around 8 Eevees, and also get a Buizel in the mix of that, I started using some evolution stones to get the first 3 of the 9 evolutions, with Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon. And we continue the streak with an Espeon, before an old lady gifts us a free Eevee, as well as 3 items we need to get a Glaceon, Leafeon, and Sylveon. With Nucleon being the last of the evolutions, we now have all but 1. But first it's time for a side quest. At night, Ripley talks about aliens, and after navigating through the cornfields, we make contact with the mothership. At the end of this quest, a little S51 is added to our party that evolves into S51A. And while it's night, let's get both Gliscor and Umbreon. I think we should catch a legendary now. So we enter the volcano and make our way to Acton, the legendary that we encountered in the Elite Four. It is ready to be caught, and roughly 15 minutes later, and it's added to the dex. Now at this point, the count is supposed to be at 192, and there should only be 2 Pokemon left, but I noticed that for some reason, within 73 GB of recorded footage, I lost some of them. Probably some evolutions, nothing too important. That means we can now do the final event. After you become champion and open the PC, there's a 1 in 99 chance that this happens. You get teleported to another realm where you have to remember the colors in the right order and then get to see Neopunk and Prezopunk. Only one of them can be caught while the other needs to be traded. While I didn't mind a second save file to trade for evolutions, playing through the entire story a second time for a single Pokemon was a little too much. And with that, we ended 193 out of 194 possible encounters. I have to honestly say that playing the game by catching everything available was a ton of fun. Creating a spreadsheet with our Pokemon and their location as well as evolution methods made this like a long checklist with hundreds of different points. For the fact that this was my very first time attempting something like this, I'm happy with the result. However, I would like to find the missing Pokemon I caught or evolved within those files. With 25 hours of recorded gameplay, 10 hours of editing, and 5 hours to write the script that contained roughly 4,000 words, I would say thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing and leaving a like. Have a wonderful rest of your day and take care.